Hello and welcome back to the Frugal Granny channel. My name's Ali and I'm Frugal Granny, and on Mondays we have Magazine Monday where I present a roundup of some of the things I've done during the week in the kitchen or perhaps in the garden. This week has been particularly busy with family things, so the things that I'm going to show you today are very ordinary things that I have done in the kitchen just to keep myself and various family members who've been coming and going fed and watered. Most of the filming was done on Friday, which was a very dark and wet day, so please excuse the lighting. If you're new, you're very welcome here. It's lovely to see you, and if you're a regular viewer, I'm so pleased to have you back again. It's great that you're here. Thank you to everyone who's subscribed recently, and if you are a regular viewer or even if you're a new viewer and you want to get notifications of when my videos are put up, please subscribe. It really doesn't cost you anything. This channel doesn't do memberships. It's open to all and the content is free. I'm going to show you some batch freezing of a pasta sauce. I'm going to make a banana loaf. I think we've done banana muffins before. It's similar but different. Then I'm going to use some of the pasta sauce to make a pasta bake. And then I think the following day I made Calabrian chicken for you. So that's everything today, and I hope you enjoy it. Catch you at the end. It's a rather dull and dismal afternoon, and I've been pottering about in the kitchen a bit. I think I mentioned on Thursday that I'd bought some punnets of tomatoes quite cheaply at the supermarket. Well, I've turned one of them into a meat ragu for a pasta bake tonight, and two of the others I have turned into an onion, mushroom and tomato sauce, a chunky sauce to freeze down for another day. So let's just go over to the cooker and I'll show you the latter. Here's the onion, tomato and mushroom sauce. I'm just going to portion that out into 4 takeaway tubs that I've had for quite a long time. They get used for this sort of thing all the time, for saving scrap bits of food and batch freezing sauces in the freezer. I don't think it's going to go around 4, but even if I freeze 2, that would be quite sufficient. So that's 2 tubs of the purely vegetable sauce. I'm now going to portion out 2 tubs of the meat sauce, and whatever's left we're going to put in the pasta bake for this evening. These were the tomatoes that I used. I had 4 punnets of these, so 1.5 punnets went in that, 1.5 in that. These I'm keeping for cooking over the weekend or just for snacking. So let's get this other sauce portioned out. I'm not freezing these in large portions because if it's just me, that would probably be enough with pasta to go round 2 meals. So I'm just going to do it that way, and if I need a big pasta bake then I should just defrost both of them. But I don't want to defrost one big one and then be stuck with sauce that I can't eat. Okay, so I'll be boiling off some penne later, reheating this, stirring in the penne, topping it with grated cheese and grilling it. But for now, this is just going to go back in the fridge. Next thing to do is make sure you get the right lids on. I tend to only keep takeaway tubs that are all the same size and shape because I'm so tired of trying to fit the right lid to the right box. So I only keep the ones that are that shape. And then, quite importantly, it needs to be labelled. So what have we got here? Beef, tomato and mushroom sauce. And the date, 31st of October. I better put the year on, knowing me. Beef, tomato and mushroom sauce. Okay, one person, one portion, 31st of October 25. Oh my goodness, the rain's really coming down now. I'm glad I didn't risk it. I nearly risked it, but I thought no. Well, I'm glad I didn't now. I'm glad I didn't go. And this one, what have we got here? Tomato, onion and mushroom. 31st of October 25. One portion. Tomato, onion and mushroom, 31st of October 25, one portion. Now, this is still quite hot, these two, so I'm going to let them cool down and then I shall put all four in the freezer. So that's just a little job done. Next job to do is to put the washing up away. And you can see there bottom right that I've washed some eggshells that I'll be drying. I'm thinking ahead here because I shall crunch those up and use them as a slug deterrent barrier for my vegetables in the spring. My goodness, the rain really is hammering it down now. Seeing as though it's raining and I'm not taking the dogs out, I'm going to use up some bananas that were left in the bottom of a box in the supermarket common room. They weren't visible until you pulled up all the paper, and then underneath there were 6 manky bananas. So I've chopped 4 of them up in there and I'm going to make a few banana loaves. Chopped bananas, and then I need 180 mils of corn oil or vegetable oil. Well, actually, I always do it up to 175 because the bananas add quite a lot of moisture. So let's do that. 175 of oil. Just pop that there. A couple of eggs. And again, I shall be saving the shells to wash and dry for slug barrier material for next spring. Just careful I don't get any bits in there. That's it. Oops. Then I need 450 mils of milk. Now I'm out of fresh milk. I'm using UHT milk for tea. I don't want to waste that on cooking, so I've got out my dried milk. 450 mils is just shy of a pint, so probably want 3 level tablespoons in there. 1, 2, 3, and then make it up to 450 with water. Bit of a mix. I could have put the milk powder straight in that big jug, to be honest with you, because it's all going to get whizzed up together anyway. Just give that a bit of a whiz. And then in it goes. And then we need to just blitz up the sliced bananas, egg, milk and oil. 1 minute. I'm going to probably take the soundtrack off for this bit because it is quite loud. Then I put 4 handfuls of porridge oats into the liquid. This canister is so annoying, I can't get my hand in it and make a fist. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't ask me, I've never weighed it, I just do it that way. And then I'm just going to stir those in. And I'm going to just let the porridge oats soak up some of that liquid. Or I can let them soak that up a bit while I put the dry ingredients together. If you who've seen me make this before will know that it's 500 grams of plain flour. I think we're not going to have enough in here. Not quite. Today I'm going to just improvise a bit. I don't want to go digging around in my storage boxes, so I'm just going to make that up to 500 grams with bread flour. And it will be fine, it won't matter at all. Let's just get that into the bowl. And then 4 ounces of sugar. There we go, it's just a bit over, it won't matter. Swirl that round to get the excess flour out at the same time. 2 level tablespoons of baking powder. Baking powder's beginning to go down, I need to get some more. And a teaspoonful of salt. I've just filled this up so it's a bit too full, I need to be careful. I might leave the spoon out actually. Just mix that together so the dry ingredients are well combined. Then I'm just going to line my loaf pans. These are extra long loaf pans that I got in IKEA many years ago. I don't know if they still do the same now, but they are very useful. So shiny side in. Mould it over the top. Press it into the corners. Just line up. Be very careful at this point that you don't tear the foil. Foil is not as robust as it used to be, unless you're willing to pay a fortune, which I am not. While I'm doing this, I've got the oven heating up to 180. I'm using the small top oven, which is just a convection oven, it's not a fan oven. Okey-doke. And then, as usual, wet into dry. Spatula. Look how much is coming out of there. Spatula is the frugal cook's best friend, as I have said. so many times before. Let's just get this folded in. Alright, now just this time, because there were 6 bananas and I only really needed 3, and I didn't want the other 2 to go in the bin, which is where they were destined, let's just take the skins off these. Yeah, it doesn't look, it's a bit squashy, but it's going to be cooked anyway. So what I'm going to do is just carefully cut that banana longitudinally, or long ways, and then I'm going to lay one banana like that and the other one like that. Just push it into the cake gently. Let's do this one. Again, longitudinally, just be careful, you don't want to split it, but you can just push it slightly to get it in a position to cut it. Okay, one that way and one that way. Okay, and then the banana skins, I know this is crazy, but I tend to cut these up. Don't worry, I'm not going to sprinkle them on top of the cake, but they go into my worm bin. They make very good worm food and very good plant food, full of potassium, so I'm not wasting those. Right, these are going in the oven now at 180 until a metal skewer comes out clean. Muffins are about 20 minutes, but because this has got a higher volume than your average muffin, it's probably going to take a bit longer, so we need to keep an eye on it. Right, excuse the darkness, it really is dark now. It's only 5 o'clock in the evening. Can you believe how dark it is? This is North England for you. Right, I'm going to make myself a cup of tea now and just sit and catch up with some of Friday's YouTube. Most of my favourite channels post on Friday, and then hopefully by then the cake will be cooked, and at that point it will probably be time to start putting together the pasta bake for tea. Time to make a cup of tea then. Boil the kettle, tea bag, tea's got to be nice and strong, not much milk, else it's not worth bothering. There we go, that should just about do it. So there you are, the banana loaves are out of the oven. You can see the longitudinal bananas in the top, they give it a really nice look. Skewer is coming out nice and clean. So what I need to do now is just lift those out of their loaf tins and leave them to air. Just going to peel the sides down to let the hot air out, and then when it's cool I'll wrap them back up again. Well, I'll wrap up one because one will go in the freezer, but the other one's going to go on a plate for slicing. There we go. The other thing I wanted to show you is that the parkin I made last week or earlier this week has now been resting, and it's a lot easier to cut when it's come to or rested. And I'm cutting this up because I'm going to a former colleague's birthday party this evening, and I thought this would be the perfect thing to take on a Halloween night, and especially as there's no way I'm going to be able to eat all of this myself. So I'm cutting it into bite-sized chunks, and I will take the prettiest looking chunks with me, and if people don't like it then I can always bring it home, but at least I'm not going to go empty-handed. So let's just, I don't know if that one's going to cut. And this really is strong. It's not wishy-washy gingerbread, it's quite strong in taste, strong in colour, and the extra ginger I put in has really given it a kick. I do like ginger. Some people may not want so much ginger in it. I can't believe the recipe only called for 1 teaspoon. I'm sure that must be a misprint. I did check it a couple of times to see if it was a tablespoon, but no, definitely a teaspoon. But I really don't think that can be right. Okay, I'm going to keep those bits at home for me to nibble. I think that's a nice tub of Yorkshire parkin to take to the party I'm going to. Right, let's get this pasta bake sorted out. Careful, babies. Careful, baby girls. Hello, here I'm going to show you how to make Calabrian chicken. I think some people call this pollo cacciatore, but I call it Calabrian chicken or pollo calabrese. It's basically potatoes and onions, garlic and tomatoes and some red peppers, all mixed up together and sautéed slightly. Then you put the chicken breasts or bits of chicken on top, put a lid on the dish and put it in an oven for an hour or so until it's lovely and soft. It's a great sort of eat it with a fork meal on a wet and rainy day. I've decided to talk over the top of this video because while I was recording this, I'd actually got the washing machine and the dishwasher going. I don't often put the dishwasher on, but at the end of each month, I do like to put the hob supports up from the top of the hob and various other things in the dishwasher just to give them a good wash and degrease them. Right, so here I've put some olive oil in the pan. I've peeled and diced an onion. Well, I am peeling and dicing an onion. I've already peeled and diced several cloves of garlic. You could put however much garlic you want in this. This is very much a throw it together dish. It's effectively a peasant dish, so you just put in whatever you've got or whatever suits your tastes. Right, so the diced onions going in now, just giving that a little bit of a stir. Then there's some small potatoes here. I've already boiled these. I boiled them the day before or maybe the day before that and cooled them off and put them in the fridge. And the reason I did that was because I was trying to stop them going green, and I thought if I boiled them off that would stop the enzymic processes in the potatoes and it would make them last a little bit longer. It's also going to cut the cooking time in the oven, so I won't need to cook it so long until the potatoes are soft. I'll really just need to make sure that they're cooked through. And here is the last punnet of those reduced price baby plum tomatoes that I got from the supermarket. I think I got these for almost pre-cost of living crisis prices. I'm halving those and putting them on top of the sliced potatoes. There we go, last one in. A little bit of, ground black pepper. I thought that was salt. I think the salt's probably coming next. Yep, there's the salt. And Calabrian cooking is traditionally quite hot and spicy. People use the Calabrian chilies for that kind of taste. I'm afraid I can't get those, so I've put some crushed dried chili in there and some dried oregano. And here's some chopped red pepper from my freezer. That will melt down, and then I've also got a bag of frozen jalapeno peppers that I've had in the freezer for a while. They were on yellow label. I freeze them whole and I'm chopping them up while they're still frozen, de-seeding them, cutting them into small pieces and then adding them to the tomatoes and peppers in the saute pan. Here we go, in they go. That's great. Giving that a bit of a stir so that everything's well mixed. And then just a little bit of water. You can put chicken stock in there or a vegetable stock cube, but it doesn't matter. And now I've got some defrosted chicken breast pieces that I'm just arranging on the top. You can put chicken thighs on there, drumsticks, quarters, a whole chicken that you've cut up. It really doesn't matter, just use what you've got. So I'm arranging that on the top nicely. And then putting the lid on to keep the heat and the moisture in the dish while it's cooking. It's gone into a 180°C oven. And it will be in there until it's cooked. And there's a picture of the finished dish, and it's a lovely, warm, tasty, comforting dish for a wet day. Right, so that's it for this week, and I will see you again on Thursday for Coffee and Catch Up, when I will be looking at my supermarket salary for the last 4 weeks and how that's going to be allocated to cover the things that I need to pay for. Now, I hope you enjoyed the cooking. It's lovely to have seen you, and I'll catch you again on Thursday. Until then, here's a little bit of a pup date for you. Anyway, I'll catch you on Thursday. Bye for now.